Okay. So again, we're gonna do, I just gave you the sheet so that we don't have to take time to write all the sentences out, do the drawings and stuff like that. You'll have it on the notes next to you. But you, as part of your notes that get handed in your lesson quiz, you're gonna do it on your vocab sheet. That's the one you're going to end up typing in. Okay, so we're gonna do the top on the vocab sheet that I gave you. Okay. What else are we gonna do? So I also did write it on the board, the name of the objectives, because you have the sheets in front of you. So all of these were the formulas that you wrote yesterday. So objective 35 is volume of a cylinder. 36 is volume of a cone. 37 really has two different objectives in there, but they just put them together because of the shape. Okay, so you're going to find volume of spheres, and we're also going to be finding surface area of spheres. Okay, instead of them separated, they put them together. Okay, so the first one that we're going to look at is number 71. Okay, so most of these, there's no drawing. They actually say which shape, okay, in the sentence. Okay, so we're looking at the volume of a cylinder can is 87.92 inches cubed. In the diameter, if the diameter is 4 inches, find the height. And they want us to use 3.14. Some of these, we're going to leave it in terms of pi. We won't multiply it out. And I'll tell you when we go to do the worksheets which one you won't multiply out with the 3.14. Okay? So starting on number 71. So our formula that you wrote down for cylinder, we wrote it down. You can tell me what it is. Area.
E equals pH.
Is what?
E equals pH.
First, are we doing volume? Yeah, sorry. Volume for a cylinder.
Equals pH. Or capital volume of cylinder.
Is that what everybody else has?
Yeah.
Okay. Volume of a cylinder is pH. Okay.
Capital B lowercase h. Okay, I got that.
And no pi in there?
The alternative is pi.
Okay, that's what I was looking for.
Pi.
Okay, yeah, you're gonna want to use that. So that's the one that I was hoping that you were gonna say. Okay, so volume, because they're telling us pi on this, so we want to use pi, right? Okay, so volume equals pi r squared h. Okay, this is the one that you're gonna want to use. That's why I thought I gave you the wrong page when I put it on the page. So we're not gonna use that one. And the reason why we're not using that one is because all the information they gave us in the sentence is that information right there, okay, that we're using. Okay, so in the sentence, they actually tell us the answer to the volume. So it's kind of like when we had did the area ones, they would tell you the answer to the area, and you have to solve for either the base or the height, okay? So the answer for our volume is 87.92. This is number 71. Okay, so the next thing in our equation is pi. Well, they told us to use what for pi? 3.14. Okay, and when these are next to each other, this is really multiplication, like each one of them that are next to each other. Okay, did they give us radius? They gave us diameter, so we have to take a flashback to our circle thing that we had, okay? Diameter on a circle, right, goes all the way across. We don't want that, we want radius. So what is it? Half of that. So half of 4 would make it 2. Okay? So we're going to plug in 2 here that we're going to square. And they're wanting us to solve for height. So obviously we don't have it. Okay? So we're going to solve and reduce this all down and then move things to the other side so that we can get each by itself. So we have to use our algebra skills. Okay? So order of operations, we would have to do exponents first, right? Which this just happens to take us back to the answer that was on the paper. Okay? So we have 87.92 equals 3.14, and 2 squared is 4. Okay, so we're at this. Everybody got a calculator? If you don't have a calculator, go back calculator. There's like none of these that you're gonna probably be able to do with it. Or want to do with it. You can do it. I'm not saying. So our next step to get the h by itself is we need to multiply these two times each other, okay? So in your calculator, you're going to go 3.14 times 4. Okay, so now we have 12.56h. Okay, so we're at our last step because we're solving for h. So what do I need to do with 12.56 to get h by itself? Divide, because it's times right now, right? So we do the opposite, we go to the other side. Okay, so I'm going to go 12.56, and what do I do to one side to get rid of it? I've got to do to the other side. Now, common mistake is putting it into the calculator backwards, okay? It's the top number divided by the bottom number. Don't flip it and put 12.56 divided by 87 because you're not going to get the right answer, okay? The top number goes in first, divided by the bottom. 7. Okay, so h is 7, and that's what they were looking for. They were solving for h. Okay, good? Okay, so the next one we're going to do is number 72. Okay, this one they did a drawing for us to give us the numbers that we're going to use instead of writing it out in a sentence like we did in our last one. Okay, so we're still using that same formula. We're going to use volume equals pi r squared h, and that's all multiplication in it. Okay, this one they want us to find the exact volume. And usually when they say that, the exact volume, it means they don't want you to plug in 3.14. Because pi, if you learned this like way back, I don't even know when they introduced pi to you, but pi is a number, a decimal that doesn't terminate. Like it just keeps on going. We simplify it to 3.14, but it actually is a really, really long decimal. So that's why we can't get an exact answer. So when they say exact, they don't want you to multiply times 3.14. So pi will actually be part of your answer when we write it. Okay? So don't hit the pi button on your calculator or anything like that. They want us to leave it in terms of pi. Okay, and again, I'll remind you when we go to do these, I'll say, hey, this one leave in pi, leave in pi, leave in pi. So pi will be part of your answer. Okay, so we're not going to touch pi. We're not plugging in anything in for pi. So did they give me radius?
Yes.
Yes, what is it?
3.
3. Okay, so I'm just going to write this. So this is number 72. Right. 72. Okay, so we're solving for volume. I'm leaving pi. I'm not plugging anything in. And in the drawing, they have the radius because that's halfway, right? So that's 3 to the second power. And then did they give me height? What? 11. Okay, we get to there. Those numbers were in the drawing first. Okay, so we're solving for volume. So again, pi is not going to be touched. That's going to be part of our answer. It doesn't disappear. It's going to be part of the answer. So order of operations, we're going to do that first. Okay, so 3 to the second power is 9. Okay, so 9 times 11, 99. So your volume is actually 99 pi, because we're not going to multiply it times 3.14. And that's it. I mean, the last step, if they said use 3.14, then you multiply it times 3.14. But we don't. So that one's actually easier than that first one over here. Okay, we good? Okay, going to number 74 now. Okay, so reading number 74, we have a different shape now. Okay, so it says a sphere has a volume of 972 pi cubic inches. Find the surface area of the sphere. Okay, so first we need the volume formula for sphere. What is that? diameter is what?
4 to the 3rd times pi r cubed.
Good, okay. And then we're going to use this one first. But then we're going to get to surface area, okay, which was another one that you wrote. Which was what? I gave that to you guys yesterday, right on the
That's equal to 4 pi r squared.
Okay. That's for surface area, okay, but we have to use the volume one first.
Oh, I did get
Okay, we good so far? We got those two written down. Okay, so looking at question number 74, they actually tell you the answer to the volume, okay? So for the volume, we're plugging that in because it's in the sentence. They gave you, 972 pi. Okay, now we're writing the rest of this formula here. Just gonna show you a really cool trick. Okay, do you notice anything that is similar on the left side and the right side? What?
pi on both sides.
Pi on both sides. Okay, so we could go through the steps of trying to get the pi to one side, right? And it's times the way it's written out. So the opposite times would be the what? Divide. And if I divide on one side, it goes away, right? But whatever I do to one side, I'm going to do the other side, which would mean it would also go away on that side, okay? So on all of these, really what we eliminated is the pi, without having to show all of our steps. As long as one is on one side, one is on the other side. Okay? The pi's cancel each other out. We good to there? Okay. So now I need to solve for radius. Okay? So I need to get the radius by itself. So I want to move this over to the other side. So I need to get rid of it on this side. Okay? So it's times. Opposite of times is divide. And when I divide with a fraction, I have to what? Keep dot, flip. Okay, so that means on this side, you can write it on this side just so you know where this came from. Okay, I would be dividing by 4/3, which would mean I would flip it, right? So I'm just going to write it up here. Okay, what I write on one side, I also have to write on the other side. Can we get to there? Okay, so these guys would cross cancel, because that's the whole idea, right, was to get rid of it. So we just got rid of it because they would cross cancel each other. Okay, so now all I have left on the right side is r to the 3rd. Okay, in your calculator, this is 3/4 times this, so really this is the same as this. So I'm going to go, you are going to go 3 times 972. Get that answer, whatever answer that is, and then hit divide by 4. Okay, so there's divide by 4. So this will get a big number, and then hit divide by 4. What'd you get?
729.
729. Okay, if you didn't get that, let me come by and check to see what you're getting on. Okay, so it's top numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, so then we're going to top number divided by 4. Okay, good? Okay, hopefully all of you have a square root button and a cube root button on there. Okay, we're not doing square root because we have a 3, okay? So in order to solve for r, the opposite of taking it to the 3rd power is to take the cube root. Okay, so it looks like that instead of just a square root. Okay, this gets rid of this, but what I do to one side, I've got to do to the other side. So we're finding the cube root, not square root, cube root of 729. Okay, so I know the green and the yellow calculators. I think it's the bottom left-hand corner thing. And you have to hit the second button.
Yeah, can I get the 3rd?
Oh, no, it's not that. It's where the zero's at. So you have to hit, so you'll go 729, and then the second button, and then the 0.
Oh, so I just
You do it right?
yeah.
So you should get what? You try it. 9.
I think I
Okay, so yours, you actually have to do it, because that's a text, right? Okay, so, yeah. So you have to tell them what it is. And red. No, not that one. That one, yeah. Because that one is this one, right? And then you put in the number that you're finding the computer. Okay, anybody else need help finding it? Good, you can 9? Okay. Okay, so that should have gave us 9. Okay, we're fixed there? Okay, so now we can plug this in to find surface area. Okay, so R is 9. So I'm going over here, and I have the 4. They're having us leave it in terms of pi, so we're going to plug in 3.14. We're going to leave that. Okay, and then I'm plugging in 9 for R. So it's this. Good? Okay, order of operations, I got to do what? Exponents first. So it's not 9 times 2, it's 9 times 9, which would be 81. Okay, and remember we're not touching pi, so now go 81 times 4. 324. Okay, so area is 324. Remember we're leading pi, we're not going to multiply times 5. That is it. So this is why they had those two together, because you have to use one to get to the other one for the objectives. Okay, so that one's long, so hopefully you've got some good steps. Any questions on where any of those came from? Okay, so going on to 82. Okay, so question 82 says, find the volume of a sphere with a radius of 2 2/5. Express the answer as a mixed fraction in terms of pi. So that means we're not going to multiply the pi out. Okay, again, so you're going to leave it in terms of pi. Okay, so radius, well, we'll hold off on that. Okay, what is the formula that I'm using for this one? So you're looking at 82, you're looking at sphere. For a sphere. Mm-hmm. Volume for a sphere. You guys wrote these 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, we want to change our radius to an improper fraction, because when we multiply numerator, denominator, denominator. Well, right now, it's not an improper fraction, okay, or just a fraction. It's a mixed number, okay? So how do we change 2 2/5 to be just the fraction and not a mixed number? Yes?
Times 5 by 2 and then add 2.
Okay,
That's your
so we times, right, we go this way. So we times these 2 and then add that one. So 5 times 2 would be 10, plus 2 would be 12. So this is 12/5. Okay, and if you're like, did I do that right? Well, this is improper, right? So 12 divided by 5, 5 can go into 12, how many times? 2, with 2 left over, and then there's 2 numerators. We just rewrote it as an improper fraction so that we can plug it into the formula. Okay, so we're going to start plugging it in. Okay, so I have volume equals 4/3. I'm just going to scoot pi over here to the right side so that we're not skipping back and forth. Okay, and I've got, now I'm plugging in because we just changed the radius to that. So it's 12/5. That is to the 3rd power. Okay, so this is a flashback to your exponents party before Christmas break. Okay, when it has an exponent on the outside, the numerator is being taken to the 3rd power and the denominator. Okay, so you're not going 12 times 3, you're going 12 times 12 times 12. That's your new numerator. What'd you get? 1728. Okay, so let's rewrite this down here. Okay, so I've got 1728 on the top. And it's not 5 times 3, it's 5 times 5 times 5. 125 on the bottom. Okay, and then at the end, we're going to add pi onto it. Okay, so now numerator, numerator, denominator, denominator. So numerator, so 4 times 1728. Okay. And then 3 times 125. Okay, now they don't want us to change this to a decimal. They want it as a mixed number. Okay, so all of you have a school function on your calculator of how to convert the decimals back into the fractions, and it will write it on the calculator for you. Okay, so you're going, the top number goes in first. So the top number divided by the bottom number. Okay, and then the green, some of you already know how to do this, but the green and yellow. So it's the next to the 0, the bottom left, there's an F and a D. Okay, so you'll have your answer up on the computer, on the calculator, and you'll hit the second button and then the arrow thing. And so it's 18 is a whole number that you can measure. Okay, so your F and D is going so this is 18 and 54. Okay, so you're gonna hit this, and then see the F and D, because it's green, so you have to hit that second button. So it's 18, and then there's your numerator, there's your denominator. Okay. You have to hit the second button to get to the green. Yeah, because that's just you're just hitting an arrow. You gotta get to the green, so you have to hit it. Yeah. Okay. So yours, your F and D is right there. So you gotta hit the second button, and then see where the F and the D is. Equals. So it's 18 and 54. Okay, we good? Did I show everybody that have? Okay, so I'm running out of space. You write it in a nice spot. Okay, so this being divided by this, you converted it to the next number. You should have got 18 and then 54 over 125 pi. What's your answer? Okay, last one, and then you guys get to trade these. Okay, number 80. Jumping backwards. Okay, it says calculate the volume of a cone with a height of 10 and a radius of 3 and round your answers to the nearest 10. Volume of a cone. What's the formula for that? You guys all know.
The volume moles 1/3. Pi radius squared.
Okay.
Height.
Did it? Okay. Okay, so we're looking at the information that it gave us. So this one didn't tell us to leave it in terms of pi, so we're actually going to use 3.14. Okay, so I have my 1/3. Okay, pi is 3.14, so I'm going to plug that in. Some of you, this times bothers you, that looks like a decimal. If that bothers you, then put parentheses around it, because it's going to be multiplication. Okay, did they give me height? Oh, did I skip radius? Sorry, we're on radius. Sorry. Radius. Did they give me radius?
Yeah.
Which is what? 3. Sorry. I guess it is not. Okay. And then did they give me height? which is what? 10. Okay, so now we just got to put all this together. They gave us all the information that we plugged into the formula. We just need to know our order of operations. Okay, so this is not 3 times 2, that's 3 times 3. Okay, so that would change that one to 9. Okay, so all of these numbers are on the top, right? So I'm going to go 3.14 times 9 times what? What's the next one on top? 3.14 times 9 times, oh my gosh, what's in it? 10. Okay. And then once you get that answer, you're going to divide it by what? What's the only one that's on the bottom? 3. Okay, so you're going 3.14 times 9 times 10 actually hit equals, okay? And then you'll go divide by 3. Because really this was 1 times this times this times this, but 1's not going to change anything, right? But the 3's on the denominator, so you divide after you get that answer. Okay, so when you multiplied all that out, what'd you get on the top?
90.
No, just on the top. 282.6. That you're dividing by 3.
And 94.2.
94.2. Okay, and we didn't leave it in terms of pi because we plugged it in. Okay. All right. So, on your actual notes paper, you're going to cross off the ones that we already did together. Which
71, 72, 74.
I thought you forgot 2 of them.
No,
Did I do 75 and 76 with you?
no.
No.
Okay. I skipped over it somehow. Okay. I should have. Okay, we got to do 75 and 76. You don't have to, but I'm sure you're going to want me to. Okay, 75. Okay, 75 is similar to the one that we just did. Okay, so it's a cone. So for a cone that has a diameter of 16 feet and a height of 11 feet, find the volume rounded to the nearest cubic feet and then use 3.14. So it's just like the one that we just did. Okay, so we're going to use volume pi. I'm going to rewrite this on here. You can leave it like what we had before. Okay, I just know that in the end I'm going to be divided by 3. So I'm just putting it at the end. Okay. Okay, pi is what? 3.14. Okay, what was the radius? 8. We're going to wind up squaring. Okay, what was the height? 11. Okay, so you're going to go 3.14 times 64 times 11. And then what would be your last?
Divide by 3.
Divide by 3. What would you get?
736.
8, 5, 3, and then it like round. It keeps on going,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so I think on this one, which one is this one? 75? Yeah, they rounded up to the whole number. Okay, so because this is bigger than 5, they ended up writing 300 or 730. That's the answer. If you left this because you didn't know to wrap round, you would get it right. That's what that would round up to. Okay, because they didn't. I don't think they discussed that, right? On 75 to round it up.
They said rounded up, I don't think they said 2 there.
Oh, nearest cubic foot, so that would be a whole number. So they did.
Also, you would want to.
Yeah, you would round it up. Yeah. If you didn't, I would give you that. I mean, that is that. Okay, last one, 76. It says if a spherical balloon has a diameter of 22 inches, what is the volume to the nearest cubic inch. Use 3.14. Okay, so we're going to use volume equals 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, on 76, we need to have radius. Did they give us radius on 76? No, they give us diameter. So to get to radius, I have to divide that by what?
2.
2. So really, my radius is what? What is my radius? 11. Okay, so they gave me diameter, which was 22, right? So divide by 2, so the radius is going to be 2, 11. Okay, so now let's start plugging things in. So we've got 4/3, because that's part of the formula. Okay, what is our pi? What is pi? 3.14. Okay, we have radius now, which is 11, and it's not 11 times 3. Okay, it's 11 times 11 times 11. So you're going to go 4 times 3.14 times what 11 times 11 times 11 is. What is it?
1,331.
1,000 what?
331.
30, like that?
Yes.
I didn't have it written down. Okay, so you're going to go this times this times this, and then divide it by what?
3.
3. Good.
I got 5,572.
0.4, right? And so 4 would not mean that you would round it up. Okay, so you're going to do it like that. And again, if you put the decimal, I'm not going to count that against you. Okay. But it says round to the nearest cubic foot. Okay, now we're done. All these other ones I wrote on one side, and then for some reason I wrote one of them. Okay, so tomorrow, beginning of class, we'll grade the rest of them. So I was going to help you cross these off if you haven't been